I could get away with it. This woman will let me get away with anything I want to do. I can have as many affairs as I want. Assalamu alaikum. Another episode of Asksq. You ask, I respond. That's how this thing goes, and today, of course, we have another interesting question. But before we get into that question, I want you to hit this video with a thumbs up right now and subscribe if you are new to this channel. We speak about a lot of issues that are certainly controversial and taboo, but they always serve as an iman booster. So let's get into this question. I need some advice in regards to my marriage. I'll try my best. Not me. Okay, I have 3 daughters, and married someone from USA. USA. I'm originally from the UK. He has been having back-to-back affairs, and I forgave him the first time. See, the interesting thing about affairs, the one who gets cheated on feels like they are something lacking within themselves that's causing the husband to look elsewhere for love or a better relationship. And though that's not always true, one needs to ask themselves before looking at the other person in the relationship, am I doing everything to make sure that the marriage is working? If you can honestly say that, look, I've evaluated myself, I've looked at myself, and I'm saying, hey, you know, I've done this, and not like to remind yourself what you've done, but rather you're telling yourself that, look, I've done everything in my marriage to make it work. I've taken care of him. I've done everything to please my husband. I've, put his pleasure above my own. I've done everything. I've had conversations with him. I've had counseling with him if there are problems, because no one just has an affair. There's clearly problems happening, and because affair is a process that happens much later when the problems start occurring in the marriage. So if you have unresolved problems in your marriage, you're asking yourself, have I resolved or tried to resolve all of my problems in the marriage? You go through a list of everything that you could have done, because it's easy for you to start thinking that you're not a good wife or something. Like, it's not about that. It's about you figuring out, did you do everything possible to make sure that your marriage is working? Now, as far as the affair is concerned, you forgave it. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, because if you forgave him, then this is water under the bridge. You shouldn't be talking about this, right? True forgiveness is like, you know that they made a mistake, you forgave them, and it's like it never even happened before. You get what I'm saying? Because when someone has an affair, you're always going to be suspect that, man, this person could do it to me once, that means he could do it to me again. So you become on the guard, you start thinking and becoming more suspicious and perhaps even more on the edge than you usually would be. But when the affair happens, I'm not sure the process of you consulting him, speaking to him, getting your family involved, perhaps if that was needed, I don't know if that sort of took place, because sometimes you think you forgave him, but what you really did was a green light to do whatever you want. Here's what I mean. You might seem like you forgave him, right? But because you were so lenient on him and so forgiving without really resolving the issue, that might have given him the green light that, man, I could get away with it. This woman will let me get away with anything I want to do. I can have as many affairs as I want to, and she's going to forgive me each and every single time. Because instead of resolving the issue or figuring out why the affair was happening, you sort of just brush it under the carpet because you wouldn't want people to know, because you'd be embarrassed about this, and you're sort of embarrassed overall about why it even happened, so you're trying to resolve the issue, but the issue never gets resolved. It just gets brushed under the carpet, if that makes sense. Now, I forgave him the first time, and he had another one. This is exactly what I'm saying, and I didn't read this message. When you forgive him like this fast, now I'm not saying to torture the man, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that when you forgive without taking the proper Islamic protocols involved, marriage counseling, doing everything it takes to make your marriage work, when you don't take these steps, and you just like brush it on the carpet, you're really giving the guy the signal that you could get away with it again. Just don't get caught. This time you got caught, next time don't get caught. Because when you don't truly resolve it Islamically, you are practically giving them the green light that, man, I got caught because of a mistake. I left my phone out. I just got to be better about it now. I think that's something that I need you to think about, and it's something, worthwhile thinking about. Has your husband approached you about a second wife? Has he spoken to you about marrying a second person or whatever that case might be? Because that's an interesting conversation to have with him, and ask him where's his mind about these things. Because what's the point of helping your husband, helping your spouse earn hellfire and the displeasure of Allah when he is technically allowed to have another wife? So I'm not saying being open to having another wife. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you don't want to be the reason. You personally don't want to be the reason. I just hit myself in the face with this. Ow. You don't want to be the reason that he is earning the displeasure of Allah because he knows that you won't allow a second wife or want him to have a second wife, or it'll ruin his marriage to have a second wife, so he ends up having affairs instead. You need to really sit yourself down and ask yourself the question, would I be willing to share my husband in a halal manner? Because technically you're already doing that right now. So you need to ask yourself, if he was actually able to marry, would this be something beneficial or harmful for me? And if it's something that you can't handle, I don't want to say that you should do the D word. You got to start thinking about your options. You got to start thinking about, man, like, I don't think, this is the guy for me. I don't think that this is what's supposed to be happening. Me and this guy have 3 daughters to think about. Do I want to, and this is a big question you got to ask yourself, do I want to be a wife or do I want to be a mother? You got to ask yourself this question because that will determine how serious you take this issue. You're going to either put your kids above your husband or your marriage above your kids. But just know that you got to put yourself in the mix as well and say what will make you happy. So think about the marriage, think about the kids, but also think about yourself. What will make you happy? Because you don't want to make decisions that are just for the kids or just for the husband. You want to make decisions that are best for yourself as well. And now I've come back to the UK. Shout out to the UK. So basically the sister is back in the UK after the husband's had multiple affairs. It's kind of a bad situation. He doesn't want me back there. Okay, so I think he doesn't want her back in the United States, and I feel like I'm stuck in limbo. My sister, you're not stuck in limbo. Let me explain to you what's happening. The reason he doesn't want you back there is because now he has a free pass to have as many affairs as he wants, not deal with your drama, your BS, your nonsense, your watching over him, your 21 questions. He can just have as many affairs as he wants, hang out with his boys, hang out with chicks, talk to chicks on the phone, not worry about a single thing because of the leniency from before. But now that you're not in the picture, he's having tons of fun until he needs you. And that's gonna happen until he needs you because something's going down in his life that's wrong. Until he needs you, he's not gonna want you back. That's the reality of it. So what you need to ask yourself is, are you really stuck in limbo or are you allowing him to remain in the driver's seat? I want you to ask yourself, how can you remain in control? The way you remain in control is that you have his children and you do what's right for yourself and for your children. You're back in the UK, you're back with your family, you're in control. How long can a person continue to have affairs for? How long can he continue to commit zina and do all these things for before he gets tired of it? How long before he misses his family and misses his daughters? I'm not saying wait around for him. I'm not saying these things. I'm saying put yourself above him. If you know your marriage isn't working, speak to an imam, speak to a scholar, speak to someone of knowledge, and do what's best for you. Not for just the children, not for him. Do what's best for you. And if that means separating yourself from your husband and not seeming weak and not seeming like you're desperate for your husband and you need your husband and you're so weak without your husband, no, you're fine. You're a mother. You're powerful. You're strong. You're a woman. You're good. But just remember something. This man has the green light to continue to cheat on you, to have more affairs now that you're away. Don't be stuck in limbo. The choice is yours. The decision is yours. You know exactly what you need to be doing. Well, that was my advice. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure that you hit this with a huge thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe if you made it to the end. Jazakallah khair for listening. I want to know, if this sister messaged you, how would you advise her? What would you say to this? Just drop your feedback and your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure that if you have nothing or no advice to give the sister, make sure you make a dua for her. She's certainly gonna read this, so you might as well say some positive words. You might as well say some positive words that will enlighten her, uplift her spirits as well, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. I love you all for the sake of Allah. Make sure that you are subscribed, and if you got questions, I got answers. Hit me up on any of my social media platforms, Wayoflifesq. Shoot over those questions, and there will be a custom answer for you. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all benefited. I'm out.